Hi guys. Okay, so we're going to start off our project with thinking about our organization. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to change my page size. Again, you go to page setup, printer setup. I am going to choose any printer. I would like to do US RHD 1:1. Do not show your page breaks, don't show your watermarks. All right. You can see it automatically does landscape, which is good. Tools, organization. What we're building today are that set of platforms with 6 platforms, and then in addition to that, the 3-tiered larger platforms from the book. And so, first of all, my design layer, that's where I'm going to be working. We are not placing it on a stage at this moment, but if we were, you'd want to build another design layer called theater architecture. So our classes, you're always going to have dimensions and you're always going to have none. You always want those on. We are going to create a new class and we're going to name it tiered stairs. Actually, tiered platform. Okay. And we're going to make another new one called 6 platforms. You can call them whatever you want as long as you know what they are. So sheet layers, we are going to create a new sheet layer. I'm not going to do a ground plan for this because it's more of a construction drawing, which is what a technical director would draft in order to inform the carpenters how to put the set pieces together. So I'm going to label this construction drawing 1. I'm going to try to fit it all onto one page. If we can't fit it onto one page, then we can go ahead and do another. Okay, so we are back in the design layer. We're going to create that first platform lid. I'm going to just kind of build it up here at the top left of my page. And then plywood is 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to go ahead and extrude that by 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to do the rails first, and the width, you're looking at the side edge of a piece of 2x4, which is 1.5 inches. And the height is going to be 4 feet because it goes the whole way. I'm going to select my top left insertion point, and I'm going to just zoom in a little bit just to make sure it's hitting that end point, and it is selecting that. Awesome. So we're going to extrude this the size of a 2x4, and that is 3.5 inches. Awesome. So if you kind of fly over, you can see that essentially the platform lid is at the bottom of the frame. And so what I want to do just really quickly is I'm going to go to a front view, a straight front view, and I'm going to go ahead and move my plywood lid up. I'm going to do it on my y-axis, and I'm just going to move it up 3.5 inches. And then you can see it's just sitting right on top of that piece of 2x4. Okay, so I'm going to go to a top view, and I'm going to finish building those framing pieces. So the easiest way for me to do this is, I know I have 2 rails, one on either side. I'm going to go ahead and use that mirror tool, find my center, drag this up, click, and then easy peasy, it was right there. Now I need to do the styles on my platform. So I'm going to double click the width, because the way I'm looking at it right now, the platform is sort of sideways. That's going to be 8 feet minus 3 inches, because each 2x4 is 1.5 inch. When you add that together, you get 3 inches. So we're looking at 7 feet. 12 inches minus 3 is 9. And the height, we're looking at the edge of that 2x4. So that's 1.5 inches. Go ahead and put it into place. And then I want to extrude this piece as well. Again, the width of that 2x4 is 3.5. So I'm just going to go ahead and press OK. I want to just fly over this so that you can understand what it is that we're building. So we're looking sort of at the bottom side of our platform. You got the 2 rails and the style along the edge. We're going to go to a top view again so that we can put this other style in place. I'm just going to use the mirror tool. It makes my life a lot easier. Awesome. And then I want to do my joists. I'm going to do the joists down here in between. And so I'm going to do a rectangle. The width is going to be 1.5 inches. And then that height, we're doing 4 feet, but we're subtracting out 3 inches. So we have 3 feet, 9 inches. I'm going to go ahead and center this right in the center of the platform. It's in place. I'm going to extrude it. And then a general rule of thumb is that you don't want to go more than 2 feet without a joist in your platforming, just for stability and security when you have actors walking on these platforms. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this, and then I'm going to go Command M to move it. I want to move it on the X axis, and I'm going to move it -2 feet, 0 inches. And then I would like another one on the other side. I could duplicate and move again, but I'm going to use my mirror tool instead. Find the center and go ahead and just place it right there. So now we have everything that we need for our one platform. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is, I don't want to add solids to this, because when we're constructing things, we want to be able to see the individual pieces. But what I'm going to do instead is I am going to go ahead and drag and select all of these things, and I'm going to group them together. I'm just going to use the shortcut, which is Command G, to group those together. Now, if I want to separate them again, I can just use Command U just to ungroup them, but I do want them grouped. Now we have a series of 6 platforms right next to each other, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it easy on myself and just use the mirror tool. I'm going to select this endpoint, go ahead and throw one up there, 2, trying to find that midpoint. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And voila, we have our 6 platforms all ready to go. So the next thing that we want to do is we want this platform, this set of platforms, to be legged up because we want it to be, I think it was 24 inches high. So when we're looking at the end of a 2x4, our width is going to be 3.5 inches. And our height is going to be 1.5 inches. And I want to select the corner to place this in. So I'm going to go ahead and place that right there at the corner. And I'm going to extrude it. If we want our platform to be 24 inches total, we have to subtract the height of the plywood. So that is going to be 1 foot, 11 and 1/4 inch. Boop. Okay, so we saw in the book that we do need legs on every corner of the platforms. So I'm just using my mirror tool again. Finding the center was a little difficult there. There it is. Okay, and then we need a little bit of support in the center of our platforms as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and place some legs central. To extrude those. Okay, and now what we can actually do is select all of these legs . We can come down looking at our next platform, and we can using our mirror tool find our center. That is not center. Command Z, undo that. We want to make sure we're right in the middle of those two platforms. So then these are already selected, and what I can do is just use that mirror tool once again. Go right along that line. Oops, don't want that. Select those again, because I kind of let go of them. Mirror tool. As long as you're horizontal, you're good. Okay, so now we have all of our legs, but when we fly over, we see that they're coming right up through our platforming. Ah! That's obnoxious. So what I'm going to do now is we're just going to simply select all of the platforms, and then we're going to move them up. But I have to go to a straight front view before I can move them. So we want those legs to sit right inside of the lid. So it goes underneath the lid. It's bolted to the frame. You want your frame taking the weight of your platform. So we're going to go ahead and move those. This is going to be on the Y. It's going to be positive. The lid is already 3.5 inches off the ground, and so we're going to subtract 3.5 inches. So that would be 1 foot 8.5. Yes. We're going to try that. I might be wrong. Math is not always my favorite thing. So I'm going to go ahead and go into wireframe to see if that was correct. And it looks like I wasn't quite right. Let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and measure that little space in there to see how much I need to adjust. Okay, so I need to go back down 3/4 of an inch. I have to make sure I'm in front view. Okay, excellent. All right, and so now we have 3D modeled our set of platforms. The next object that we want to build is our set of stepped platforms. So we're going to build the bottom step first, and the width of that is 16 feet total. But we're going to build it in 2 platforms because plywood comes in 8 feet lengths. So we're going to do 8 feet, 0 inches, and it was 2 feet in. So 2 feet, 0. Bloop. Okay, so I'm going to extrude this. It's going to be my lid, the lid of my platform. I am going to extrude it 3/4 of an inch. Then I'm going to put in the framing. And the framing is going to be, we're going to do the end pieces first. Remember, we always want to do, those end pieces. And we're looking at the edge of our plywood of our 2x4. So that is 1 1/2 inch. We're going to extrude that 3.5 inches. Okay, and then we need one on the other side as well. So we're going to use our mirror tool. For our stringers, we are going to do 7 feet and 9 9 inches. 1.5 inch. Boop. Going to extrude that. And then I'm going to mirror it. Okay, so we have all of our pieces, but if you remember from the other one, we need to go to a front view and move our plywood up. So I'm just going to go to a front view. Going to make sure I'm selected on that plywood. It will not let me select it, so I'm just going to do the flyover tool. Where did it go? And I'm going to select it this way. Go back to my front. Command M for move. I need to move it on the y-axis. I need to move it up. Let's see, 3.5 inches. Yep. Okay. So, the other thing is the total height of this with a step is going to be, we need the total height to be 8 inches. So let's go ahead and move this whole thing up in place. I'm going to select all of it and I'm going to group it. And then I'm going to move it. It should be, let's see, 3.5. I'm just going to measure it. It should be 4 1/4 height total. I was right. Amazing. So now we need to move it 3 3/4 of an inch up so that it is a total height of 8 inches. 3 3/4. Okay. And then I'm just going to drag that. I just want to double check just to make sure I did the math right, even though I grabbed the wrong part of that platform. Boop. Yep, okay, great. So if I go to a top view, there is another platform right next to this. So what I'm going to do is use my mirror tool. Oops, I have to select it first. And then use my mirror tool, my favorite, seems like. Just to put another one right over there. I do want a stringer right in the middle, or a joist, if you want to call it a joist. I should have put that in there before, but I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. So it is going to be 1.5 wide by 1 foot 9 inches. Math takes me a little bit. Bloop. I go to my front view and move that up. And then instead of redrawing it again, I can just mirror it right along that line. Great. So now we can go ahead and put our legs in. The width is 3 inches by 1.5 inch. And then we have to extrude it 8 inches minus 3/4 of an inch. So that is 7 1/4 inch. I'm gonna just use my handy dandy mirror tool. Bloop. And then I want at least one sort of centrally located. I think I'll go ahead and put 2 in there. Didn't quite hit my corner. Try that again. I didn't hit my corner there, so I just kind of did a throwaway thing, and now I'm going to try it one more time. Mirror. Excellent. Okay, so our next step up is the exact same size, but we're going up an additional 8 inches. And so what I am going to try doing is I'm going to just select everything that you see here, and I'm going to use my mirror tool. Find this endpoint. Okay, and now I do need to move these from a front view. Everything is still selected back there. I'm going to go ahead and just Command M to move these, and I need to move it up just an additional 8 inches. Boop. Which is great. The only thing is now our legs are floating in the air. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a right side view, and I'm going to zoom in on that. And I'm going to essentially, oops, yes, it wants me to save 6.2 Okay, so basically I want my extrusion to be 8 inches more than what it is. So I'm literally just going to put +8, enter, but it went up instead of down. So then I'm going to change my bottom Z to 0, and that'll just pull it right down. So +8, return, move my bot Z down to 0. Now I have to just go around, make sure I get all these little floating legs. I'm going to do them all together. +8, return, my bottom Z, 0, return. Oops, I missed one. Better get that little guy. +8, bottom Z, 0. All right, back to a top view. Now our next platform is up another 8 inches, so it's 24 inches total in height, and it's a 8 by 16 foot section. So I think I'll just go ahead and draw my first platform right here, and then I can mirror that.
Just want to go ahead and check with my flyover tool, make sure everything sort of looks like it's in the right spot. Yep. Okay, so we did create those classes, and so now what I want to do is, I wasn't really paying much attention to them while drafting, but now I'm going to select everything and I'm going to move it over into my tiered platform class, which I can do up here in object information. I'm going to take it out of the none and move it to the tiered platform. Okay, and then I'm going to do my other platforming, and I'm going to move it into my 6 platforms group class. So when I turn my visibility off for the tiered platform, I should just be seeing that set of 6. And same thing for the 6th platform, I just see the tiered. So we're going to start with the tiered platform, and we're going to go ahead and put it on its sheet layers. So it's the only thing showing right now, so I can just go ahead and do a viewport. I'm going to title this Always dashed hidden line. Okay, and then it wants me to update, so I will update. Excellent. I'm going to go back to my design layer. I'm going to do a front view.
I'm going to line this endpoint up with this other platform. It should find a reference line if there we go. That way it's nice and lined up. Then I'm going to do a side view. There we go. So you will do the same thing with your ramped platform. But I just want to go through a little bit about the annotations. First of all, I want to make sure I'm in my dimension class while I'm doing this. And I'd like to set my dimension, use a creation. I want to set it to blue. That's my favorite. These are all the same size, and so I can again use the mirror tool. The other thing is we want to label these platforms. So we need to add what is the height of this platform. I'm just going to go ahead and do plus 24 inches. It's always the height off of the deck that you want to include. You put a circle around it. This is standard drafting fare. I want my circle to be solid, but then I would like it to, I need to move my numbers forward. I'm going to group these. And I like to have those right on the center of my platform. I am going to duplicate. Then I'm just going to go ahead and move that -4 feet. Oops. And then I'm going to select all 3 of those. I'm going to move them on the X 8 feet. I forgot to duplicate, so I'm going to undo that, duplicate, move 8 feet, boom. And since I did not use line weights in my classes, which is drafter's choice for you all, I'm going to go ahead and just use that within my viewport annotations. So I drew a rectangle around this platform. I'm going to make it none. I'd like it to go back to black. And I'd like to move that class thickness no thicker than a 0.35. So that just shows us, hey, this platform is important in this top view. And then again, you could have used your pencil box. I find that to be more of a headache personally, but I know many people utilize that every day in their drafting. So I imagine once you got used to it, it likely would be a time saver, but I'm just doing it in post, sort of as I decide, you know, what I want people to be looking at. It's always a matter of creation, right? Like, we are creating a new drawing. It's our drawing, and so it's always going to look a little bit different than probably what other people are creating. So I'm going to go back to my blue because now I do want to give sort of the outside dimensions of what's going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and get my dimensioning tool. I'm going to tab again 9 inches off of the line. It's a pretty good starting point. I would like to move my little label down so that I have room. Tab 9, tab. Gotta turn my angle snaps back on. Bloop. Oops. I grabbed the wrong corner. Let's see if I can just adjust that to find the corner of my platform. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and exit that annotation. So you will do this on all of your objects as well as on your tiered platforms. You will add your border and your title block in whichever manner that you like and turn it in before Friday of next week.